afternoon and welcome back to my channel. If you have seen my previous videos, I just want to say thank you. If you haven't, I also still want to say thank you for being here. Today's topic is about salon life here in the Asian countries I've lived. So I don't know if you can tell, if you look closely at my beanie, my hair is a different color. I got it colored yesterday after my search for a place that will do it. I asked maybe 2 to 3 people and they were like, sure, this person that I go to might be able to dye your hair, but I kind of sort of doubt it. And then I went to 3 other places and 2 of them were like, no, we don't dye hair. One of the 2 that said we don't dye hair, I went in and he automatically was like, no. And then I was persistent. I said, let me show you what I mean. So I typed out, do you dye hair? And he again aggressively said no. Yes, it might be true that he or they did not dye hair, but the manner in which he was so quick to answer my question without fully knowing what I was talking about left a bad taste in my mouth. The 3rd place I agreed to do it charged so much for hair, and I was kind of like, no. And my friend who was with me, she said, I'm not sure. And also she had been to that salon and she did her hair there and she didn't like it, and she has similar hair to theirs. So me going there was actually like taking a chance anyways, and with the price I was like, okay. So I finally asked this other lady who's from here, and she said, yeah, I can ask this person. And the person she asked was like, yeah, sure. It wasn't a big salon, is just her. She's the owner and she does the work herself. So when I went in, of course she didn't speak English, but she was very cooperative. She was very welcoming of like what I needed and what I wanted. So the person who took me there first explained to her before leaving, and then she left. Then she started dyeing my hair. With body language, she was able to express what she wanted me to do. So she got done. She was like, do you want me to leave it like this? She was trying to make a card with it for it to come down, but I was like, no, it's not going to do that. So she said, what do you want to do? I said, I'll just fix it myself. So she gave me the chance. I put some oil in it. I brought my own comb with me, by the way. I stressed it out and put a banner to make a puff, and then I asked her for some bobby pins, put an edge, and it was done. Though she didn't know exactly what to do, she was very understanding. She was very cooperative. She was willing to learn, as a stylist should be. She understood that she was out of her elements by using what she knew versus her ability to learn as a stylist, which is what you should do or want to do. She figured it out. I liked the hair. Yes, so why am I wearing a beanie? When I got home and I saw the roots are a little bit lighter than the top. And when I put the video at the end, you might see what I'm talking about. So when I braided it down, which is usually how I have my hair, I just braid my own hair down, the roots, I could tell they're very orange. So I don't really like that about it. So I'm trying to figure out ways to wear it. If I wear it in a puff, it looks fine because the reddish, copperish color of it is on the top, so it looks amazing. But then when you actually just bring it all back, you can see the orange, and I don't like that. And I don't want to wear the hair out because after you dye your hair, it looks a bit like it's dry. So because it's dry, I want to put it down and oil it so that it doesn't break and stuff like that. So that's why I braided it down. I didn't like how it looked. To anyone who is out here trying to do their hair, when you go to these salons, you really have to be patient, but at the same time, if you feel uncomfortable with what they're doing or what they're saying, how they're acting, just get out of there. It's okay. You're paying them anyways. And if they're also charging you a lot more than you feel like is an average for the place, also get out of there, because they are charging you that because they feel like you don't understand what they're saying, and you just don't understand the prices. Even if they have the price on the wall, sometimes they may charge you more than that simply because they're claiming that your hair is different. And couple that with the fact that they might not even know how to properly do your hair, it's not a good chance to take, my opinion. So if you're going to find a place, let it be a place that someone has done, and let the person kind of vouch for the stylist and their character and their willingness to cooperate with you. I remember when I went to get my hair washed and trimmed in Korea, it was such a pain, because before I even scheduled an appointment, I scoured a few places and I found this one. It was right before I left, so I was thinking, even if they messed it up, I'll go back to the States. I'll work it out. So when I got there to make the appointment, I asked her, I said, do you know how to do my hair at least, at least a little bit. And she was like, yeah. So I even show her a video. I was like, can you watch this video to make sure? Mind you, I was just gonna get it washed and trimmed, right? It wasn't like colored and styled or nothing. She's like, cool. Got there the next day. During the washing process, I was like, okay, cool. When they got to washing my hair, as you might imagine, my hair shrunk, like it went down, and they were just shocked. Understandable, right? And so I had my comb with me and like some other things. I was like, let me tell you what to do. Like, you have to section it. And this, obviously, they spoke a little bit of English, and I had some sort of struggle Korean going on, but I was doing a lot of demonstration, and I was like, sectioning it in and use a comb. I combed it out, and I told them to blow dry it the same way that I instructed the lady that colored my hair. But they just looked at me like I wasn't making sense, as if there's no possible way that they could ever do what I'm asking them to do. They did the and just like prove a little bit. So of course my hair was not even remotely stretched properly. Then they did a little, what I would call a how some like kids put the moms put the bowl in their head and then they just shove around. That's what it felt like. So it wasn't properly done. And it wasn't so much that it wasn't properly done. It was the fact that they were not willing to listen to what I had to say, my input on how they were doing my hair, that they didn't know how to do. And it was just a really awful experience. One of the reasons why I never even wanted to go to one, but my hair at the time, I just needed it trimmed, just a trim. If we come to your salons, oftentimes it's, speaking for myself and the friends that I've spoken to about this, it's oftentimes it's kind of like a last resort. Like, it's not our first choice or option because we couldn't get it done anywhere else, or when none of our friends could do it, we just thought we're there. So we are putting a lot of trust, and of course we're coming with a lot of hesitation. So if you're a stylist in these two examples are about Korea and Taiwan, but anywhere basically, you see someone like me or someone similar to me with similar hair, and we come into your salon, oftentimes we're not asking for you to do it perfectly, because we understand oftentimes that's not possible. And if it is, amazing. Like with this lady, it wasn't the best, but it was close to good, and I really appreciate her for that. Now I intend to go back so she can fix the roots of the color. But when we come to your places, we understand that something might go wrong, but we are also hoping that you will listen to what we have to say, and at least try, so that if something does go wrong, it cannot be from the fact that you were hesitant or you were being a little bit prejudiced, but it was just because it was an error that happens as a stylist. Like the color problem with my hair, that's something that would have happened even if it was someone who knew how to do my hair. Sometimes the color just doesn't come out right, sometimes it stays in too long. Those are things that can happen to anyone. So yeah, well, that's my little spiel for today. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope today brings you some treats and positivity, and if it hasn't, I pray that God soften your heart before you go to bed. So thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.